Engage.
Welcome to Rubber Duck Engineering. I'm your host, Adam.
And I guess I'm your host, Eric. Nice to see you, Adam.
Good to see you. We got a new perspective on your life today, Eric.
Yeah, we did some room rearranging. So things are all thrown up in the air and landed in different places inside this room. And I'm a little darker than sometimes tonight because one of my lights is busted. So you're gonna only get 2/3 lit, Eric, tonight.
Only the best production values on Rubber Duck Engineering.
That's right. No expense is spared for our friends on the internet. So, Dr. Barth, nice to see you. Last time, to bring our viewers up to speed, last time we were doing coding interview questions on some random startup's IDE editor.
In Python. It was exciting.
I hadn't written Python in a decade, or at least 6 years. And tonight, we're going to do more random stuff.
What kind of random stuff?
Oh, I guess that's right.
Sounds intriguing.
Well, tonight, I was thinking, so as the internet may know, I work on this project called Flutter, and we have this big event coming up. And so I was kind of itching to play with some Dart and Flutter again this weekend, and I started playing. And the thing that I wanted to play with is a game called Pangram, where it's like a letter game where you have 7 letters and you're supposed to use them all and stuff. And the New York Times has a version in their app, Spelling Bee or something like that. And there's a few other versions on the web, none of which really scratched my itch. And I wanted to maybe write one in Flutter and maybe play with, generating Pangram games and that kind of fun stuff. It sounds like something that we could do in like a couple episodes, no problem.
Famous last words. It sounds like fun. I have no idea how far we'll get, but it's like you don't know until you try, right?
I also think that our relative skill with Flutter, despite both of us being extremely rusty, is probably significantly higher than our Unity skill.
Just keep raising those expectations. Nothing bad will ever come of that.
No. So yeah, if you haven't seen Pangram, as I said, the New York Times has a nice implementation or pretty implementation, and there's a whole bunch others on the web. The idea is you get 7 letters and you're supposed to use them all to make words that are at least 4 letters long, and they can be as many letters as you want because you can reuse letters. There's a center letter that you have to use, and I think those are all the rules. So
cool. Where do you want to start?
So I was also thinking that we could try something a little bit different today, where maybe sort of we both kind of go off in little crazy different directions. Maybe we need to start going first. But I don't know whether you want to do. I was kind of interested in the game generation side of it, and maybe if you wanted to write a little bit of UI, and then we could sort of try and meet in the middle.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Okay, so we've started a very basic Flutter project, and I can share my screen and to show the internet that it does exist. It looks like I need to make my screen a little bigger. But I think I'm actually going to start on the game side, writing some Dart, and then you can write a little bit of Flutter on your side, and we can see where we can meet.
Okay, so maybe a goal for me would be to put the hexagonal letter grid on screen, and then maybe try to make them tappable or something. Is that?
I think we could start with. So here you can see my screen. Do I need to make it bigger?
I think if you make it bigger, it'd be a lot more readable.
Let's see if I remember the key combination. Oh, how do we embiggen? It's possible, I know.
I think in the past you've changed your entire desktop size, but that may not be what you want to do here.
Maybe that is what I want to do. Sure. Whoa.
It's a beautiful background.
It is pretty. This is the new Mac OS that I have no idea. Everything's changed. Okay, I don't think that's going to be where it's going to be. If I change my monitor. Hello, Internet. Are you enjoying watching me change my monitor size?
Oh, I see. Previously, you were using Windows, and so this is a new trip into Macland.
Yeah, well, I spent so much of my career on Macland. I worked at Apple for a long time.
Try scale. I wonder if you could set the scale. large text.
Sure.
Are you sure?
I don't even know what that means. I see. Okay, this looks like it might work. Can you even see it anymore? Should I lose you?
Oh, we're still looking at your video display here. We're not looking at the editor.
Quit. Stop. Okay, is that better?
No, it's still tiny. All right, isn't it just Command Shift Plus to change it in Visual Studio?
Well, I tried it, but yeah, here we go. Zoom in.
There we go. That works.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we went through that trip all the way through my. Oh, it's that I have a new keyboard and I haven't remapped the. Okay, whatever. The internet does not need to know. Anyways, so yeah, so I was thinking that we could start from. Wow, I will have to remap those, but say like a class, game or something like that, and then like this is even.
Hi, Hal. Hal's giving you suggestions. It's good.
Hal, save a Hal. Oh, scaled, highlight all. Yeah, that works. Haha. Yeah. So the definition of a game is like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right?
Those are like the 7 letters.
The 7 letters, and one of these is a center letter. So I don't know how you want to define it, but see, we're defining an API between how they might work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can like string
the model class that I'm going to then create the view of, basically.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's also some other questions to answer, which is like list of possible answers, and it's like, what all is your view gonna? Maybe we do need to work on the view together. I don't know, but you need like some way to input letters. You need some way to list which words they've found. Yeah, look at you go.
I'm just sort of spanning it out based on what you did here.
Yeah, exactly. And
whoa.
This also needs like a list of words, right? Final list string valid words. Like that?
This is like null aware Dart. How do I tell it that?
Oh yeah, sorry. This is null safe Dart.
How do I tell it that it's the caller's problem, that the caller's got a...
I believe there's a new required keyword. Just drop the at.
Oh, so cool. Future is now. I've dreamed of this for so long.
Yeah, again, if the internet doesn't know, like I lead the engineering effort for Flutter team, but that means I talk to people all day. I don't like write code anymore, except on weekends. And Adam helped start Flutter so many years ago, but he leads a different effort these days. And so this is like trips down memory lane, except like trips into the future in memory lane or something. Because this is like a way crazier, cooler Flutter than we were writing some 5 or 6 years ago.
So this is sufficient for me to get going. If we
yeah,
from here. Do you want to commit this and push it so I can? I unlike normally where we all slam into the same editor, I have my own editor over here that I can play around with.
Yeah, I think we should try that. I don't know whether it's a good idea or not for us to like work. Like it may make it really difficult for HAL 9000.
I'm all for experimentation. Like I think it's fun to try different things, and if this is not entertaining, please let us know, and then we'll switch to a different mode.
Did we have like a trailing thing at the end here? If we ignore this silly, yeah, somehow I like added stuff at the end.
That's weird. You keep adding stuff.
Well, I think
your command key is not.
I need to remap my keyboard, which I clearly have not done with this new key. What's it called? Keyboard. Didn't get sufficiently prepared for this session, but I will. Okay, so I will commit.
All right.
It still has an extra thing. Git commit add game API. Git push origin. Okay. Do you want to share your screen while I fix my keyboard? Possible?
Oh, origin main. Oh man, we're really from the future here.
We are totally from the future. Master is gone.
That's so great.
Yeah, GitHub changed their defaults, which is nice.
That's really good. That's a nice way to like encourage the ecosystem to not assume that master is the name of the branch. Cool. Okay, I have your model here, so I'm going to start hacking on it.
Okay. Are you able to share your screen?
I can try. Sure.
I got to futz just a wee bit with my keyboard here. And as much as you will enjoy seeing my keyboard controls.
Let's see if I can do this. Okay, I think I have succeeded in sharing the screen. If you will project it on the internet.
Oh, the internet. Whoa. Sorry, my screen is so small now because it's scaled.
I totally shared the wrong one. That's the one on your computer. Let's try again.
It's going to round trip through. So really what this is this is going to be technical. This is the B-roll tonight.
Okay. Yes, that's much better. Try to project that one to the internet.
To the internet.
The internet.
Okay.
Okay, so I got the model that Eric just put in here. And I was going to go update the sort of material app stuff. I feel like the correct color for this stuff is more like yellow or amber. Those are the colors that I associate with this Pangram game. Let's see, homepage, title. I don't want this counter. Yeah, I don't need any of this right now. Let's get rid of all this. I do want a scaffold. I do want the title to show up there. A center column, that seems fine. I'm going to center a thing. Why don't I center a Pangram tile view? I'm probably going to have a game here. That. Putting action button. Why don't I leave that around for now? It might be useful later. Then I'm going to need a game. Game here. Let's initialize this with a sort of simple model. Put A in here. Other letters will be something like B, C, D, E, F. G is that our number 6. And there was another parameter, which is the valid words. Oh man, we need at least one valid word. What if we have to use a center letter? So we could use
get you a different list if you need.
No, this is great. I have to solve the Pangram in my head. I think dad is a valid word with these letters.
No, because it's only 3.
Oh, it has to be longer?
Yeah, so fade would be a valid one.
Okay, I'll work with fade. Cool. This is mad because I'm not using this. I guess I want to use the cool underscore version of that. That looks good so far. So now I need to make up this Pangram tile class. Oh, tile is probably a bad word because I probably want to use that for the whole, like each individual tile in the grid. So this is like the Pangram array, Pangram game. Let's just start with a stateless widget. Let's see. have a final game object. Key game. And I'll forward the key to my parent.
I have not used this computer for this since we did Game of Life.
Okay, so unhappy because, oh, this is also required. Cool. Happy because expected an assignment after. Oh, maybe I want super here. Is that how this works? That's cool. So why does this have to be null? Can I put a question mark? Key question mark? That looks legit. It's
That'll make it key or null.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to use the light bulb to add my missing function. Cool. Throw not implemented. Okay, so now this thing is supposed to have this cool grid kind of layout. But I don't really know how to do that yet. So I'm just going to return a new, say, row with the children. Oops, I don't have to say new anymore in the future. So I'm going to have in here a Pangram tile. That's going to be one of my rectangular or hexagonal pieces. So it's going to have a single letter. And then I guess I'll have a Boolean to represent whether it's the center tile, or I could have a different widget for it.
You might consider just, I mean, it depends on how much you want to lean into the UI side. But you could also just throw the things up on screen, like in a row, and not try to like make them into a grid or anything.
Yeah, I think I'll put them in a row for now, but I just wanted to get the structure in place and then later put in the sort of visual styling. So
Makes sense.
In my row, I guess maybe I'll make the first one be the center one, even though that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Pangram tile. I'm going to do this key thing. I don't know whether the key thing actually matters, but I became used to it when writing the framework. Pangram tile, so the first one's going to be the center. So this is going to be, the letter is going to come from the game.center letter. And then is center is going to be true. And then now I need the rest of them. I kind of want to do that with a loop. It's a little bit awkward to do that in the middle of the constructor. So what if I just put this into a variable and then pass this variable here. And now I can iterate for a letter in game.other letters. And we can say children.append. Make a Pangram tile for this letter. Letter of letter is center of false because this is not center one. Append is apparently the wrong thing. Maybe add. All right, that seems slightly legit. This thing is mad because I didn't have a thing, so why don't we add the missing override? So here I think what I want is I want to be able to draw a hexagon. So I wonder if there's a widget for that. So I'm going to go look at the Flutter documentation, unfortunately in a window that you're not able to see.
I am working on getting the game generation. I'm starting with a Python script that somebody wrote for this.
There's a shape, like a shape widget, or like a box decoration. Can I apply a shape to this? Shape, box shape. What are my options for box shape? I can have circle or rectangle. That doesn't quite seem like what I want. Maybe I want maybe I want a custom paint here. Then I'm going to draw the hexagon myself.
So the hexagon was like just a New York Times thing. I mean, you're welcome to do that.
Oh, well, why not, right?
I think that was just their riff on the Pangram game.
Some paint. My hexagon painter. which has a letter. Oh, I see. Maybe I'll just draw the hexagon, and I'll put the letter on top of it. I need a hexagon painter. Some painter. So what exciting things are you doing over there? And
I'm attempting to get this Python 2 script working and having to fight with Python a little bit. Because although I'm sure I could write all this code, I might as well use someone else's sort of word generation code or game generation code. Because we're only going to need to use it once. We're then going to create a text file. Although if we serve this on the web, well, we'll see. We probably also just serve a JSON file. Like we were looking before the show, and there are only 56,000 unique games of Pangram. And one of the things
that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's like 56K, right? If they were 1 byte long. But is that actually accurate? Well, anyways, the yeah, I actually think one of the interesting things about this problem is one of the frustrating things sometimes is that the curation of the New York Times Pangram, like if they picked a good one, great, it's fun. But if they didn't, like there's no like next button and there's no archive. I think it's actually fun to imagine how would you intelligently walk through those 56,000 games. Probably only a couple thousand of them are interesting. How do you find those interesting ones? I think that's an interesting part of this problem to explore. Okay, but I have to figure out how to run Python first, which is what I'm fighting with. Which, by the way, is also what I find engineering mostly is fighting with your tools.
I feel like this should be a parameter to the painter. Color.
Oh, I probably didn't save it.
I need to repaint if the color has changed. Then
Do you have something visual? Because all we see is your...
Oh, not yet. I'm just sort of spamming out the code. I don't have anything. Yeah.
We were musing about another thing that we could do for a show is to do basically what we did last week of solving CS interview questions, except solve them each independently and then compare solutions. Because Dr. Barth and I code very different.
Does it ends up with different results? I've got. I need to compute the points of the hexagon, and I'm just sort of thinking about how I should do that. I kind of imagine that when he's like sine and cosine or something.
Yeah, I mean, aren't they what are they, every 60 degrees?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need like sine and cosine. That math.sine?
That sounds right.
Sine. Cosine? Cost function. Nope, let's import dart.math. Or okay. So now I got sine and cosine. Points are like always the same, right? So like if I had 0 degrees, I wonder if these are in radians or in degrees. Try to find out. Okay. Radians. So, well, 0 radians is still 0. So then what is the size of this? I see. We need the radius, size, want the shortest side. Whoa, that's a cool accessor. Cool. Okay. Didn't like that.
Word list.
So then I need to add this to the center. Center of the origin. I think the origin here is 0. And then this, the shortest side divided by 2, of course, right?
Is it right that all possible... Oh, I see, but we need the full word list. Aha.
That's 0.
Okay.
So I need
You
to
were
do
saying? Okay.
Oh, I was just working through my point thing. I need like, so 2 pi is all the radians. So if I want 6 of them, that's like pi over 3. Angle step equals pi. Half that pi. We get pi. Top level constant. Just called pi. Pi over 3. Okay. No Fs. This is not C#. This is Dart. And then const sides count is going to be equal to 6. Wait, a for loop. 0. All I is less than count. I more white space. Cool. There's some like awesome, more awesome way of doing this, but random life. This I times the angle increment. Those are my points. Super Matt. Avoid using unnecessary statements. I agree. Should really only use necessary statements. Okay, so
we should.
Kind of painter. So then we want to give it a color of deep orange. I think after we do this, we will attempt to. Is deep orange one of these like awesome, color things?
Mm-hmm. Part of the original material design spec.
Yeah, this is
palette.
Cool. The default shade is shade 500. I want shade 500. You're mad because we don't need the color colon because I didn't make that a name parameter. But maybe I should. I love name parameters. It really helps me understand what is going on. Okay. Color is just one color. I feel like I didn't give anything a size, so I have no idea how big this is going to be. So why don't we give this a sized box of how big should my size box be? What are my choices here? Height 100.0. And my width, I'm going to test out my shortest side logic and make this like 75.0. Actually, I'm going to do it the other way around because it's in a row. We'll be able to see the spacing between them. All right, cool. So we're going to code. I don't think I have any. How do I? Oh, analyzer. Help me, Obi-Wan the analyzer. Okay, this is really not a legit way of doing that. One press is required, but there's no corresponding thing, right? I'm going to disable it, which means I give it null. Cool. There are no problems. Everything is peachy perfect. So I think that I just run this now.
Mm-hmm. It should just show up in Chrome.
Flutter for web. Stop. Oops. Go. I did too much.
What does the orange bar along the bottom mean?
The orange bar along the bottom.
Well, I noticed that the Visual Studio Code changes the color of the bar from blue to orange sometimes. I have no idea what that means. Bless you.
Excuse me. Waiting for debug connection. Okay. Oh, wow. This is cool. Let me show this to you. Share. I have to stop sharing the screen. Okay, I'm sorry. My setup is not nearly as sophisticated as Eric's, but I believe I can now show you this visual thing that we've created. If Eric will put me on stream.
Sure thing. Oh, wow. Look at that.
The suspense.
Ta-da! That's kind of cool. So those are all custom painters in a row, right?
Yeah, these are custom painters in a row, and they're 75 high and 100 across, which is why they're separated. So it's picked the shortest side and then use that as the radius. If I'd done it the other way, I would have had white space above and below, then they would have been touching tip to tip as they go across.
Interesting. Cool.
Awesome. Now I kind of want to arrange them themselves in a circle. So I think I want to do a custom layout where I put the center one in the center and then I put the other ones using the same like sine cosine technique.
Seems reasonable.
Should we try that?
So quick check-in.
Yeah.
I have made a little bit of progress, but I have a lot of trouble hearing you talk about the thing you're doing and trying to concentrate on mine. So I think maybe this is not working from my end, and I should just
why don't
participate.
Do you want to broadcast from your side and the viewers can follow you along, and I'll do what we just described, and then we'll check in again?
Sure, we can try that. Let's see how far I go. So before we stop on you, what is it you're going to do so the viewers know?
Oh, I was going to take those things, put them in a custom layout so that they show up in a circular arrangement with the center one in the center. Okay. And then for bonus points, I was actually going to put the letters in them so I could tell that I'd done it correctly.
Okay, so I have started by taking this. I found 538 had a puzzle about pangrams, and a whole bunch of people posted solutions. I found one that was simple and written in Python. Here's where it's from. And yes, I could have written this all in Dart. I just don't. When I started translating to Dart this weekend, I didn't remember easily how to open and read a file quickly, so I just went through with this Python implementation. What I realized when I was looking through this is that the Python, that the actual games are not just specified by a letter and 6 more letters, but rather they're also specified by the word list, which makes them longer to store. What I had imagined that I could do is just dump out all possible games, which I still can do. And this code is a superset of what we need to do that, and that's what I was going through to trim down now. So this code has a little function that knows how to split a word into its letters, which makes sense. It knows how to open the words file, which I got off of 538 as well. It then knows how to walk through this words file list, find all the ones that are 7 length, that we haven't already we haven't already split apart, and then saves them off. Yeah, so for each word in words list, we grab its letters. For the various for the cluster and letter clusters, if the letters is a subset of a letter cluster, we then add this to that cluster. So we're just going through all the clusters, or we're for each of the clusters, we're adding in all the words that are possible to make from that cluster. And then the original code had this scoring logic where it gave you 1 point for any given word, or 7 points for a pangram. And then it was going to go through and score them all. But we don't actually need to score them all. We just need to dump them all. Or what I actually want to dump is I want to dump a list of 7 letter clusters, which is this, right? I think it might just be this. So if I just do print for cluster letter in, yeah, if I just do print cluster, oh, this is Python. I don't remember whether this is Python 1 or 2. I think it's Python 1. Cluster letter tuple. Python. I think this should just work. Although, if it's correct, then this is what takes all the time, which makes sense. This is really the stage that we would ideally cache at. So we don't like the whole point here is that I was attempting to generate the space of games, so that then we could perform analysis over that space of games, pick interesting ones or the next interesting one. The idea would be that to allow in Atom's visual implementation that you'd be able to like pick a next game. But this thing is still off running. So we may need a different approach. Well, the other thing we could do is we could cut this word list way down and build our pipeline on a smaller set. So like solve a smaller problem that is representative of a large problem. So like we went to the, if we went to this words list here, and we copied it. So if we copy, so we move the TP, so you know what, we'll just do touch small.text, right? And then we'll pick, is this we need ones that have exactly seven unique words. The simplest way to do that is that we just go through this and ask it to print out the first one. Print word. And then we'll do that. Okay. Something's funky. Oh. I do not have this computer set up to save on. Okay, so these are all 7-letter words. Is that true? Yeah, no, these are not. Aha, those are all. I see, we're generating a subset of the word as this word list. Aha, this is what we want. Print word here. And this. Oh, again, we didn't save. I need to clearly change that. Now we have mill pond, right? Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So let's do vim small mill pond. Right. Add into this. Whoa, I have no idea what it's doing. Okay, we clearly should not be using vim. Okay, so let's now open small.text. No idea why I got that in there. Mill pond, we'll do mill, and we'll do pond, and we'll do limp, and we'll do dill, and we'll do yeah, that's probably enough. All right, so now we should be able to change our this thing to be small. Okay. SM. No idea what SM. Oh, this is me typoing in this. Aha, I see. Because I'm used to Windows key mappings, which uses control. Okay, good. I think that worked. Yay. Okay, so all right, so now we have where we are printing the letter tuple. Let's see, is that what we want? This is word list, letter set, and letter tuple. That's fine. Letter tuple is totally. Is letter tuple this? I see. We don't know which is the center letter, and that's what that scoring was, because you could pick all sorts of different things, and you would get a different. So we might actually want the score of these. Yeah, that probably actually. All right, so to go back, now that we understand what all this Python does, so let's turn this score back on. Yeah. And we don't really want the highest so far, because that's not useful to us. We sort of want all scores. So we don't really need the word list. What we need is so what was this doing? Oh, I see that this is that. Yeah, fine. Okay. We don't need that. Range. Okay, so I think we want the effect of all scores is equal to this. And then we're going to want to score our cluster. And I think we're going to want to do this is regardless. So we're going to do all scores dot append. It looks like Python is Pythonism. Score letter tuple, and we don't need word list. We do, but I can't imagine that it doesn't actually hurt us to keep it. But when we print these things, we're definitely not going to. Right. Now this is actually going to end up. Well, what does score do? For cluster? I see. We're trying each of the different center letters. Are the letter tuples unique? Are the letter tuples unique? They should be, right? Because we keep, where the letters themselves are sorted. Yeah, letters are sorted tuples. And we check those. And so the letter tuples, we'll assume the letter tuples are unique. All right, and so I got lost as to where we were. All scores append. Okay, yeah. So let's do for score in all scores. Print. Wow, crazy. All right, so we're going to do print. We're going to do cluster letter tuple. Yep. And we're going to do cluster score. Except that's not quite. Yeah, fine. I guess we can do what the center letter is. Cluster center letter. How you doing there, Dr. Barth? You still alive?
Yeah, pretty good. I am learning all about custom multi-child layout, which I have a distinct impression that I might have
written.
Been responsible for.
Possibly.
I've written the layout, and now I'm just I need to tag each of the objects with which slot in the layout it has.
I am pretending to relearn Python. What is going on? Oh, it didn't save is why. Invalid syntax. For score in all scores. What did I do? Oh, I bet this is why. Yeah. Okay, key error center letter. Yeah, I don't know why this is dealing with cluster. I shouldn't. It's a score. Why is cluster in scope? What is cluster? It's just Python leaking the scope of this object, I bet. And maybe center letter. Oh, I didn't save again. Clearly, I needed to. How do I even change that? Preferences. No, it's save. Up here. I've totally done this before. Preferences, settings, save, format on save, yeah. I want that, autosave.
So I just got an amusing error. It says bottom overflowed by infinity pixels. So whatever I've done, it's wrong by a factor of infinity.
Or you might have null or something. Is this what I want? Autosave? Yeah. Sure. All right, let's try that. I don't know if that was the exact setting I had, but that should hopefully. All right, so there we go. So that's telling us the different scores. I think that we could letter tuple.join. Is that valid Python? Oh, Python's the other way. Python's the other way. I remember Python was odd. You take an empty string and then you take the string and you join it over the array as opposed to JavaScript and other languages that are the other way around. There you go. So, okay. That's pretty good. Okay, so say we had this for all of them. That's not what you're going to want, though. I want to like pick a random one. Like how big? What if we wrote these all out? What would they be? Like assuming that we're going to dump this as JSON or something like that. I assume that there's like a write out JSON, write JSON, write out JSON file Python. I remember doing this. Yeah, import JSON, dump. All right. So let's try that. Although you're not going to want these long names. Well, we could try it though. We could try.
I have something to share if you want to project my screen.
Let's do it. Oh, I see prettiness. I think we're also getting towards the end of time here.
So I made the custom layout. So these are, this is the center one, and then these are the 4 around the edge.
That's cool. Looks nice.
And I should be able to like overlay the text on them using a stack.
Mm-hmm. This is FlutterWeb.
I don't know.
We've been writing in FlutterWeb. Von Korn asks.
I've never used FlutterWeb before. Whoa. It seems that every time I edit the file, it
hot reloads.
Yeah, it hot reloads, which is cool.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to hot reload on save, which is like a normal feature you want for like the mobile version. I don't know what that does in the web version.
It's getting close. I feel like the letters are not centered in my stack, but I feel like that's like a stack alignment kind of thing. Alignment. I don't know how to project both the code and the.
I think you kind of have to share your screen if you want to do that, but you don't have 2 monitors, do you?
No.
Yeah.
Oops. Maybe I did it. I want to put the letter after the box. So it shows up on top. Budget. Yep.
Whoa. There you go.
There we go. I feel like I want to add some styling to my letters, like.
So are these in your mind going to be buttons, or?
Yeah, I was imagining you would like click on them to make the different words show up or something. I want the center one to be a different color. I like the deep orange for the center. Do you have a preference for what color you want for the outside ones? Like,
just try them white or something to start with. Like
for white, we don't want to see them.
Well, I was thinking that like they could have a border.
Oh, like a border. My custom painter is not cool enough to draw a border.
You're not drawing a hexagon as a path.
A darker shade. Is that lower numbers? Is darker? No.
Does our I don't remember if like box decoration, like if you could just make these just be normal fabs, because I know you can like animate the shapes on. If we have the capability of animating shapes, could this just be specified as like a box decoration kind of shape?
Yeah, I bet I could have used a box decoration instead of a custom painter to do a similar kind of drawing operation.
Well, we might give you a bunch more power because then they could just like be fabs or be. But so we're nearing towards the end of the episode here. I think I learned from this that trying to do both talk to the internet and code is not.
Yeah, but it occupies the same part of your brain, right? It's like the verbal expressive part of your brain that I'm always
Well, I
amazed
just-
at the artists who can draw on stream and then also like talk at the same time. Because like I cannot like talk and draw at the same time. It's impossible.
I do remember, countless days and countless hours of just going deep into the tank, with you working on a problem, and then we'd pop up, from our respective problems and go have sushi or whatever.
Very specifically sushi.
Very, very specifically, it was the closest restaurant to where we lived. Um,
We became very good friends with everyone who frequented that restaurant.
But I think what I'm remembering about that actually elides many of these sort of like long stints of just like you're in the tank, you and your brain, and you're not broadcasting to the internet your every thought or listening to someone else do that. So I think we should go back to maybe pair programming next time.
I think it's a good experiment. It was worth trying and seeing how it turned out.
I think there's some very little amount of Python editing left for me, which I think I will do offline, and hopefully then be able to present you, if not like a web service, because I think that's a little bit beyond what I'll try and build by myself, but at least a file that you can read a few games out of.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And we can plug into your little front end here.
Yeah, I totally just hard coded this A B C D E F G game as the. But yeah, it's a place to get started.
I think I also want to find out. Like how we host this. Like my dream, there's probably some Flutter service that we can just pay. My dream is that I just wire it up to the GitHub and it just does the hosting and compilation for me. Somebody must have that.
I did that once a time with Heroku. I have no idea if that's still the hotness or.
There must be.
There must be. We can investigate it.
Yeah. All right. Well, as always, Dr. Barth, this was fun. Thank you, Maybe Hal. It was wonderful to see you. Von Korn, thanks for coming to say hi. As always, we welcome your comments, heckling, whatnot.
Yes, we indeed have no idea what we're doing.
It can't be a show without that. Great. Any lost or last thoughts for the viewers, Dr. Barth?
It felt good to write Flutter and Dart. It was less of a struggle than writing a language that I hadn't used in many years. So that was fun.
It does fit a bit like an old glove. Yeah, I realize I spent all this time hacking on this little Python file. I probably could have rewritten it in Dart in just about the same amount of time, all 18 lines of it. So anyways, I look forward to hacking with you again next week, and otherwise take care.
Sounds great. See ya.
See ya.